Hello and welcome to episode 8, season 3 of the Good Poets Gaming Podcast. Today, me and Poetic are joined by MAGG. Now, for those that don't know a lot about MAGG, please introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you do and who you are.
Oh, thank you very much. Firstly, thank you for having me on.
No worries.
Great
no,
to be here.
thank you.
So I am MAGG, also known as Middle-Aged Gamer Guy. I am a Twitch partner. Been streaming for over 5 years. Yeah. Streaming over 5 years now. I basically host a talk show on Twitch
Nice.
called Tuesday Night Gaming Chat, where we talk about all the latest gaming news and reviews and what's happening in the gaming world. Been doing that for over 5 years. I also play a lot of new games that are out. So my whole thing is that I may be an older gamer, but I don't do all the retro stuff. I'm very much in what's happening right now.
I like that.
I'm also known for doing a lot of hosting, speaking at gaming events around Europe. And
Nice.
for my sins, actually run gaming events as well. So I have one big event that's coming up to its 5th year called Timeless Gaming Convention. I'm also known for hosting the Manchester Twitch meets so many
Oh,
times
wow.
a
Nice.
year. So there you go. That's me, all wrapped up in a beautifully bundled package.
Amazing. Just a note on Timeless.
Mm.
I actually went last year, and it was the first gaming convention I've been at, but it was one of them where I went there and I was sat down and you were doing the panel with What Culture,
Oh yeah,
like interviewing them all. And I was just sat there. I was completely out, didn't go with anyone. I just thought this is something for me, a little treat.
yeah.
And I sat there and I was like, this is boss. I'm really and I still have the mouse that I
the
won.
mouse one. Awesome.
Do you
Oh,
know
it's
what?
so good.
I can't remember what day it was, but we shot a podcast episode like just after he'd come back,
Yeah.
and he was telling me about all this stuff, and I was like, Dan, please stop! You're making me jealous. Stop!
Oh,
Like,
it was so
shut up.
good.
We've got to get you both. But well, Dan can be second time. We've got to get you both there, and you can come and.
Oh yeah,
But
100%.
thank you for going first. I appreciate it.
It's
And
honestly, and I think what a lot of people think with these, going off on a bit of a tangent with
Yeah,
these
yeah,
gamer
sure.
conventions, is they think, oh, it's going to be, there's the creators there and I'll just go as a bit of a guest. But you kind of go and like, it's not like the creators are over here and you're over here. You
Yeah.
can actually kind of go say hello. Like I
Yeah.
went and got a picture with Ash Millman.
Yeah.
Like that's something that I never thought I'd be able to do. And she's like amazing and
Yeah,
does sort of amazing things.
it's something it's something that's kind of developed over the 5 years, because the first year we did it, technically didn't have creators at the event.
Yeah.
And then in the second year, it was like, right, let's invite some creators. But it was all still insane because we've moved venues. We've moved to a big venue. Our first home was at Arcade Club in Bury, Manchester, which is like Europe's largest arcade. Big shout out to them because they've looked after us brilliantly for 3 years. But unfortunately, we've outgrown the venue. So now we're at Arcanes in Liverpool.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's better for me.
Yeah, well, you know
Yeah,
what?
actually.
It's interesting. It's interesting how some people are like, oh, it's a little bit further away from me, and then some people are like, oh, it's close to me. It's like, well,
Yeah.
it's gonna be one of those. But again, the team at Kane's Brewery, because obviously we take over quite a few parts of it, have been fantastic as well. And they were kind of like, well, we have held gaming events, but nothing like this. And when we explained it to them, they're like, this is something very different to what we're used to. And the whole point
Right.
is that we did do one year where we had a load of creators and we had a creator lounge, and they could go somewhere else to get snacks and bits and pieces. But still, a lot of them like mingle with everyone else. And even like we had like Jason Bradbury as an opening keynote, and he was on the show floor like all day, like just talking to people and fans. And we were kind of like, well, this seems to be what people want. So when we said, there is a little area for our guest stage to go to grab a drink, snack if they need 5 minutes away. The whole point is if we book someone, they're a part of the event, just like a ticket goer. So if you go, if you want to take part in the competitions, you can. If you want to just go play the arcade and ignore everything we put on, go ahead, do it. Great, that's what it's there for. Or if you want to sit in front of the stage all day, you can. And the thing was, with Ash and the What Culture team and all our other guests last year, they were like, oh, we're good. Like they were playing the Astrobot challenge that we were doing.
Yeah.
And then they were going around the arcade and they were taking part in other bits. and all of them were just like, we're happy to just be here and get involved, because they were like, this is very, very different. And we decided to scrap the Creator Lounge, which was a bit of a bold move, and we got a little bit of flack for it, not loads, but we were like, look, at the end of the day, this event, we've always said this is an event for all types of gamers, and so everyone should have access to everything. And that we've decided to stick with that, and it works well. So if you want to, if there's someone you like, or like, again, the Tomb Raider panel, we were like, well, we will do sign-ins for the Tomb Raider panel, but it's free. So like Daryl had his books, so all you had to do is buy. If you wanted to buy a book, you didn't have to buy a book. You could bring your own book and he'd sign it, and the rest of the Tomb Raider team would sign it. But the whole point was, you're not standing in the queue paying 20, 40 quid. So they were there, and you could even turn up the night before at the VIP night and just have a photo with them, or get stuff signed if you didn't want to be in a queue. It's that's the whole kind of logic behind it.
Yeah, no, it's nice. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, what I liked when I was there was that you'd be I'd walk past and I'd see like just a booth. Because I kind of went and like, I'm one of these people, I don't really look at game reviews and things like that. So I didn't really look at what was on it. I kind of looked at it and went, what culture are going, I'm in. you know what I mean? And I went, and then I kind of looked more into it, and I was like, oh, there's a little Tomb Raider thing. And I went past the booth and I'm like, oh, so, tell me what this is. And the guy was like, I can't remember his exact role, but he was like, oh, I worked on, some of the original Tomb Raiders. And I was like, what? And you're just here? Like, I in your head, you're painting this picture of like, you should be kind of with some type of security, or, you should be this, but you made it really kind of like personal. And these people, it made it feel like these people behind the screen are like, they are just people at the end of the day, as well as us.
And this is the thing, a lot of it's funny, because we had one of the voice actresses from Tomb Raider, and she just said, oh, I kind of get nervous at conventions and stuff. And she said, but we made a joke about, I said, I'll buy her a gin and tonic and she'll be all right. And she was happy as Larry, just standing around chatting to people. And she went, do you know what? This was like the friendliest, most easiest going. And yes, we do have security there, and the security were fantastic. I nearly said something else then. Like, but they were top notch. They were effing great. All right.
You can't swear. Go for it.
I know, but I'll save that for later if I have a rant. So, but they were really good. And it was like they just basically liaised with us all the time, and they would give people space to do what they want, but also they were looking after the safety of everyone else. And that was another great feature of being at the new venue. But yeah, at the end of the day, all these people are human beings. So again, with the What Culture team, Scott, Si, Josh, and Avinash. I mean, I bumped into Ash 2 weeks ago at another event I was at, and we were just having a natter. But like, they are just people who've got friends, families. Yes, they do some amazing work and stuff, and they're on YouTube and other platforms and that. But at the end of the day, they are just human. So I think it's not, they feel it's great that they could just be treated as normal, get up on stage, do their bit, and then just talk to fans or go and enjoy the event themselves, rather than being told, well, you must be in room A, and then we'll escort you to such and such, and then when you've done, you get 10 minutes and we'll whisk you off. And it's very rare we get a guest that is literally like, I've got to turn up and shoot. And if they do have to do that, we actually announce that that's going to be a thing that's going to happen. Like, we say, look, they're going to be there for a limited time because we get people are busy. But we're like, if you're going to be there, we have certain guests that love the event so much that they will bring their families. So we're like, well, we'll book a hotel room for them and the family, and your family comes along and enjoys it. And I know, unfortunately, we can't have Slopes this year because he's away on holiday, clashes with his holiday. But for the last 2-3 years, he's brought his whole family, and he did a documentary about certain gaming events that he adores, and we were very honoured to be on that part.
That's sick.
One of the best family-friendly events. And he said, I can jump up on stage, do my hour or whatever, and then I can go do filming content, can talk to fans, and then my family are having a whale of a time, and then we go off to activities together and that. And I was like, there you go. We've hit the nail on it. We found our formula, what works. So
yeah.
I think as well, like, just last little point on that. I mean, time this is going to crop up a lot in this podcast. But before we move on, I think the thing that works is, you've obviously set your kind of your principles and that, and like we want this event to be a community thing, and you interacting with everyone. So I think to a certain extent, if those people that you said kind of gave you a little bit of aggro about it, you probably don't really want them coming anyway, if that doesn't align with their principle, if they don't want to interact with fans all that much.
No, do you know what? I wouldn't say that, because I get it, because content creators and people can go through a lot of weird shit, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's funny, we are going to do, we haven't officially announced it, but I have talked about it, so I know I won't get a slap on the wrist for saying this. every year we do a content creator panel.
Yeah.
But we got to a point where we're going, is this something we drop for 1 year? Or do we change it up? Because as good as it is, and we always get a lot of good feedback on it, everyone says, oh, it's all so nicey nice, isn't it? Hey, I did this and you could do this too, and here's my top tips and that, which is great. And people come up to me and go, oh, we learnt this, this and this. But there is a really nasty side to content creation, which not a lot of people talk about. And it was actually, I can't take credit for this, but it was actually MZ, the Just Dance creator.
Yeah.
She's wonderful, and she's a friend, and I adore her to bits. And she said, we need to talk about the shit aspects, like how difficult it can be, or the weird shit that gets on. So, we know some people that have had their like home addresses and things doxed because some nutter has basically published all the information, or there's been really difficult things that have happened to people, and then they've been given shit because they weren't on for 1 week. And you're like, these people have lives, and these people also want to protect their families and stuff. So we've decided to go down the route of doing what we call the dark side of content creation. So we want to talk about all the shit stuff that can happen.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Like how to try and stop that from happening, and how to, make people aware that this stuff can happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. So if we did have a creator or a guest who said, I'm happy to be at the event, but I prefer not to be that, we would basically grant that wish, because if they've had some stuff happen to them, that's fine. I wouldn't say to them, oh, you're not a fit for this event.
100%. Yeah.
Everyone's kind of got their own thing. So yeah, I say we got a bit of backlash from it, and comments about, oh, you haven't got a creator lounge, but we have got safe spaces for those guests and stuff to go to. So
yeah, so you got the best of both worlds with it.
Yeah, in a way. And when the fact that we didn't have a creator lounge last year, after sort of the little bit of backlash at the start, no one really brought it up, and they were like, oh, we actually quite like the little back room area with actually, because it's the gamer guide that sorts out a lot of the creators for us. And just the whole again, we don't take credit for that. We invite a load of creators as Timeless, and then they put out the applications, and they spend the time to sift through the applications for us. So they had their area, but we decided this year that their area was open to everyone, because there could be people that weren't successful getting a creator pass, or there could be people that are starting out and they might want to talk to the gamer guide and other creators. And it's like, well, and they said, why not make it open to everyone? So why not? So that was kind of the thing there. So, but we'd always, if we booked a guest and they're like, I must have my own security and this needs to happen, this to happen, but then fair enough, we would adhere to that, as long as it's not like I want 5,000 brown M&Ms in a branded kind of situation.
I suppose it's kind of like not the problem. The problem's the wrong word, but as Timeless does get bigger, there is more chance of you having bigger creators, and there is more chance
there
of
is that,
if, for example, if you had some of the Sidemen come 1 year, then it's highly likely that they would want security, because they are ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking on kind of, you touched on content creation and how it kind of, the mental health and things like that. Just very briefly, or as much as you want, give us some insight into your journey and what started everything for you.
Oh, my life. Okay. So, like most people during the pandemic of 2020, I was sat there bored off my tits, and was kind of like, I'd like to actually start streaming. So I have a background, I've had a background in over nearly coming up to 20, 30 years 30 years, not 20. That'd be weird. 20 to 30 years. That's a bit of a 10-year gap.
Starting a new game there, 2030.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, was it? I don't know what. But yeah, it's coming up to close to 30. But by the time we got to the pandemic, it was well over 20 years. Basically doing still sort of event organising, but more the technical sides to the sound, lighting, staging kind of stuff. And 2020 came, and boom, all events just ceased to be, as you know, like gaming events, like stuff like E3 stopped, all that sort of stuff. All big gaming events just stopped. And all events, general music, concerts, you know, anything, festivals, boom. And that hits hard when you've got a company with 18 employees and you are doing like anything between 10 and 15 events a week in a normal thing. And it's like from my cash flow went from quite a decent amount of money to literally zero overnight. And while I'm sitting there waiting for them, because I like a lot of people, I was kind of like, this will be all right. Be over in a month. It'll blow over. This will be all right. It'll blow over in 2 months. 6 months later, it'll be all right. It'll blow over in 8 months. Oh no, it's just going and going and going. There was a point where I just went, well, I need to do something because I feel like I'm losing my mind. And funny enough, I thought, do you know what? Hang on, I'll correct myself here. I was a big Xbox fanboy. And they had the platform Mixer. And I thought, do you know what? I'll give it a whirl. I'll start streaming on Mixer, because I had a look at investigate into it. I was like, we'll give it a go. And the week that I wanted to stream it, they shut it down.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they saw MAGG and was like, no, close
they were like, this guy, no, we don't want him anywhere near streaming. Shut it down now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So then I looked into some other things, and you obviously had YouTube stuff and the Facebook gaming. I don't even know, is Facebook gaming even a thing anymore? I think that's gone.
I
don't know. It might be.
I've never heard of it. So.
Oh yeah. If there are, I apologise in advance. And if you're doing well on it, good on you. But I don't see anything about it anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, it took a while. So I'd not heard of Twitch at all. Right. So we're like start of summer 2020. Never heard of Twitch. And there was a couple of YouTubers that I watched for stuff. And I noticed, I was like, well, what are they doing? Because they obviously have these shorter content videos on YouTube. But what is it that they're on that's that? And I started looking into Twitch. And I started seeing other people on there. And it's funny because you were seeing people like the comedian Ian Lee, who does a lot of stuff with gaming on there. Don Johnny was on there. I was like, bloody hell, you can watch Bob Ross on there. Like, there's loads of stuff going on. I was like, this is so bizarre. Looked into it and I went, do you know what? I'll give it a shot. And it took me until October of 2020. So quite late to the party. And I literally was in my living room with the TV, a mic, my Xbox, and running internet cables from the living room through the kitchen floor into it, because the only way I could do it. So basically, I turned the house into chaos for many months, and we just gave it a whirl. And I first started out just doing whatever games I liked and whatever, and obviously Doom Eternal, the DLCs were out at that time, and I loved Doom Eternal. I loved the Doom games, full stop. Not so much the Dark Ages, I thought it was a bit shit, just saying. But
agree.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. 2025 was the gaming year of mediocrity for all the big name titles, Borderlands 4. But any other games, we can talk about this later, that you didn't expect to do well, did brilliantly, which is great because there were some bangers last year. Anyway, so I just started playing what you like and kind of just what was landing on Game Pass and blah, blah, blah. And then round about February 2021, so I got affiliate within a month or so.
Nice.
I was like, okay, we'll see if this has got legs, and started to get a little community of people. And 2021, we made the decision because my wife at the time had decided that it was too much to have all these cables running across the kitchen floor and everything for 3 months. So we got a little studio built in the garden, and I had a dedicated studio, which was great. So we continued to do stuff, but this just shows the crazy mentality of me, because I'd still not, by February 2021, I'd still not got back to work. Because even though there was the whole thing, people are going back to work at the end of 2020, and then we had a second lockdown for a month.
Yeah.
The events industry hadn't gone back.
Yeah.
And people didn't realise this, and it kind of annoyed me because at the same time I was campaigning for the events industry, and we were running different things and doing stuff, and I've been on like news programs and been interviewed in different magazines and papers and stuff about people don't realise that this industry is still in the shit, like massively. I hadn't got back to it, and it was kind of like, right, I was streaming anything up to 11 or 14 times a week.
Wow.
Bloody hell.
So I was doing 7 nights a week plus some afternoon streams. And it was only about a year later was it pointed out to me that is fucking insane. But at the same time, I think it stopped me from going insane. Because I had nothing else going on
to do.
And while this industry is crumbling around me, it's like I need to stay focused. And I threw myself completely into the content creation for good and for worse, because it had a massive effect on my marriage. Divorce coming soon. But don't worry, my ex-wife and we get on great. It's all amicable.
Oh, that's good.
So that's good. But it's funny how it did have a bit of an effect, because she would hardly see me because I'm locked in the studio, basically streaming all the time. So I'm neglecting my wife and everything and stuff, which is not good.
No.
But the good side is I'm building this little community that started to build up. And then we got through sort of COVID stuff, and event industry came back. And for us, it was only like 10% of what it used to be. And the thing was, and we saw this with gaming events. So gaming events started coming back, and they weren't what they were because people were going, hey, why should I spend 50 grand at a stand at an event when I could just record a video and stick it on YouTube and go, hey, we're announcing all our games. And that's what destroyed E3. And it's what destroyed most of the gaming events in the UK and around the world. Not all of them. Some people going great guns. Some have tried to revive and failed. And then it was interesting that some of the ones that were surviving, 2023 is where things just took a massive shift for me. Because 2023, it was the first event where I was invited to basically be on stage at a gaming event.
Nice.
And it was a show called OLL. And the previous year I was invited because we didn't interview the people on the show, and the show had started the TNGC thing had started to pick up traction because we're starting to get slightly bigger name guests on it. But we like to mix it up because we have just, creators are just starting out and YouTubers and stuff. But then we get some people. We've had, Ash has been on the show. Jason Bradbury's been on the show. We've had Slopes multiple times. We had Mike Channel from Outside Xbox. I adore that channel. I love that. He's come on.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we've had some wonderful people on the show, and it was kind of being recognised for being something. So I got invited onto this stage, and I feel like a fraud because there's little old me with all these other big names like Ashens, Slopes was there, Kwang, who works on the most recent Terminator game, was on stage. There's all these other fantastic people, and there's me with this tiny little audience of like 20 people. But it went down well, and weirdly, Retro Gamer magazine picked up on me and did a thing about me,
Nice.
and which was cool. And then invites started to come in, and it was like, "Do you want to start doing this?" And like start turning up to events and do this. And I found as that happened, my numbers started to build. And I'm not a big streamer. I'm going to say that now. I'm a Twitch partner, but I'm not a Twitch partner for the reasons people might think I am. And I haven't got that huge audience that some people might expect. So I don't have thousands of people coming. I'm lucky if I get hundreds, and sometimes it happens and sometimes it don't. But I've got this nice community that back me. But I now am at a lot of gaming events, and just this year, and I'm not saying this to brag, but it's to say how it jumped from being at one event and going, oh, this is amazing, to now this year where I was interviewing people at Guildford Games Fest, like people from Supermassive Games, people from 2 Point Studios.
I love Supermassive Games, by the way. They're the guys who do Dark Pictures, aren't they?
Yeah, sorry?
Dark Pictures, yeah.
Supermassive do that, and they've got their new Dark Pictures game out later this year. So I did 2 panels there. I was at Bristol VGE, funny enough, where Ash was. I bumped into Ash, interviewing a BAFTA award-winning composer who's worked at the Skywalker Ranch, Abbey Road, and he's done music for the games, RuneScape. So I've got all that.
Word.
I've got DreamHack this week. I'm on stage at DreamHack doing.
I'll be there. I'm going.
Sweet, I'll see you. So plug for me. Even if it comes out after, come see me at 2:30 on Sunday. I'm doing a Jackbox competition. So there you go. So yeah, I love doing Jackbox. I'm in, and Jackbox send me prizes and shit, which is great.
Yeah.
And it's just spiraled from there. And there's all these other events. I spoke on stage at TwitchCon for the first time ever last year, and we were helping running all the networking stuff's going on. It's highly likely I'll be doing that again this year. And I've got a load of other events that I'm booked at to speak at or just been invited to. And I think I looked at it and I was like, this is the most amount of events I will be speaking or be on stage at in what's been 5.5 years of me doing this now.
Mental.
Yeah, and you'll be happy to know I don't do 14 or 11 streams a week. It's 4 is my thing now. It's got cut down. I learned from my mistakes. And I do Mondays to Thursdays now. And if I've got other stuff going on, I even cut that down. So I think 2 weeks ago, I only did Monday and Tuesday. Yeah. But it's the thing. I've got that now. And if I've got a week where I haven't got much going on, I will only do Monday to Thursday. And if I've got a busy week where I've got to be here there for stuff that I've been invited to, then I'll just fit it around that. So that's the crazy journey. And
so you're a victim of your own success.
Yeah.
Bloody hard ass.
The one thing the one thing that I want to pick up on, and it's something that I'm kind of struggling with at the minute, is the balance, and because there's work-life balance, and then there's work-life streaming balance.
Yeah, I'm the worst person to speak to about that. So don't you won't get any advice from me.
Honestly, but
do the opposite.
Do everything that I didn't do, and you'll be fine. Okay, because I learned the hard way. Okay, so
I've got a fiance at the minute. For those who don't know, so obviously, I'm at the point where I try my best. My stream schedule is Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I don't even know my own stream schedule. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Learn your schedule.
Yes, that's a good tip. But then obviously today's Sunday and I'll take an hour and a half out to, do the podcast and everything.
Yeah.
But I try my best that like for example, if my fiance was horrendously ill before the podcast, I'd send a quick email out to you and go, listen, really, really sorry, can't do it. You know what I mean?
And I'd be fine with that because we just reschedule it because you know what?
Yeah.
That's more important than any appointment podcast. And I'm going to say this now.
Yeah.
I am, if I've got one big regret in my life, it's the fact that, me and my soon-to-be ex had been together for quite a long time. And ironically, we got married in February of 2020. Neither of us knew that a month later, the world was going to go to shit.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
And it's not just the streaming stuff that caused the marriage to break down. I lost the AV business, right? We managed to hold out until the back end of 2022, and we're like, this ain't viable anymore. Most of the staff didn't want to come back in the end because after being on furlough for so long, they were like, we can't work in this industry because it's gone to dog shit. So that when she lost her business, it put a lot of financial strain on both of us. And we were like passing ships in the night, and we were like, we're more like flatmates than we are, a married couple. And this is why I think it luckily it's so amicable. So we split back end of 2022. So the marriage didn't even really last 3 years, which is a shame. But I think in that period, if I'd been a little bit less, well, hang on, I'll change that, a lot less selfish, and actually focused on what was going on, I wouldn't have been doing 14 streams. Yeah, I might have gone a bit mental off the rails a bit, but I should have paid more attention to also what was going on around and that.
Around
I think
you.
So my biggest advice is your family, your kids, whoever you are, whoever's watching this now, if you are spending more time doing content creation and streaming than looking after the people you should be loving, then you're doing something wrong, and don't do what I do or did, I should say.
That's brilliant advice.
I've learnt the hard way. I've slowly changing my ways. I'm going to say that I am very, very, my work ethic is horrendous in a way that I am constantly working on stuff and constantly doing things and constantly working on projects. And for the last couple of years, that's been fine. But then, obviously, I'm not going to say what my personal circumstances are right now, but I will make sure I never do that. What I did, to that
of course,
person,
100%.
you know. So there's I also, the other biggest thing is take bloody time out for yourself as well, you know. And that's family activities, or do you know what? Just getting out of the streamer environment just for an hour, or whatever. You know, do that. Make sure you do that, because I don't think people realise how much hard work this can be. Yes, you are sitting in front of the camera. Yes, you might be playing some of your favourite games, but to constantly do multiple things at multiple times, and keep a positive attitude while doing it, it can drain the life out of you.
100%.
And it's hard work, you know, and I think it's something that you have to be very aware of, that if you are mentally not in a good place, I think sometimes people think streaming can solve it. Maybe it can for some people, but maybe it also can be very detrimental to your mental health.
Absolutely.
It's something you have to be really careful with. So spend your time with your loved ones. Don't neglect your family. Don't do anything I did. Because I'm doing all right. Okay, I'm doing all right, but it's come at a massive cost. 100%. So I don't want that to happen to anybody else, to be honest.
Wise words.
Very wise words. You touched on this during your journey, but do you think that the events, so like your E3s and all of this stuff, do you think that the rise of the directs, well, obviously the rise of the directs were the nail in the chest, or whatever, however that saying is?
100% yes.
And do you feel like we will ever go back to a place where we do have an E3, where there is like a massive impetus of people just gathered to play video games?
Oh God, no, that's a good question. All right, so yes, the directs killed E3, but it's funny because E3 technically killed itself, so you can't blame Nintendo or Sony or Xbox or whatever, all the other companies, you know, because E3 went, we're not running it for a year, fair enough, and they went, then we're going online for a year, and they did this E3 thing where they all took part in it, and I believe that they kind of paid to be part of it, but they all ended up doing the work themselves. It was just under the banner of E3. So then any savvy businessmen will go, so why do we need E3? And then the next year, they started doing all the directs themselves. And you notice that Nintendo, I think Sony didn't even land it at the same time as that. They just did it either side.
Either side, yeah.
And it was like, just to prove a point. And then when E3 was supposed to come back, they were like, we're going to save hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, by not even attending gaming shows. And this was the start of it. And there's a number of gaming shows that have fallen by the wayside because of this. So E3 was the biggest one. And then they tried to resurrect E3. And unfortunately, no one gave a shit. And it was just like, no, it's not going to work. But we need to be very careful, because EGX was a gaming event I loved.
Yeah, absolutely loved that.
London for many years, then came to Birmingham. 2019 shifted back to London. 2019 was a great year. 2021, they announced that it was going to be both in Birmingham and London. And we were very excited for it. And a month before the Birmingham event in 2021, they pulled it. which was a worrying sign. And then the London one in 2021. Actually, I've got my dates wrong, so I'll correct myself. They did one in London in 2021, which a very spaced out, very sparse event, which I will always let them off the hook for because of the fact that the pandemic was still around. So, and I'll be honest, I had fun at the 3 days that I was there, or 4 days. I did have fun, and we had a little meet up. 15 of my lot turned up, and we did a thing and did a little live stream from the bar, and I bought everyone drinks, and we had a good time. And then they announced 2022. My apologies, 2022, because that was the same year that they cancelled E3 for good. And then Birmingham EGX was supposed to happen. They cancelled it a month before, and then EGX London took place, and you were kind of like, it's still really empty, and there's not many gaming studios here. I think the biggest game they had there was Baldur's Gate 3 in 2022, so you could play a preview of Baldur's Gate 3. Obviously, that's become a phenomenon,
massive.
But that was the biggest game they had there. And then 2023, they did a show, and they had probably 6 big games. One I'd already tried out at another gaming show, which was Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which came out in 2024. They had the brand new Forza Motorsport, which actually had come out the week before, so I'd already played it. And then they had the new what was it, Super Mario
Wonder?
They're just about to re-release it as well, aren't they? Super Mario,
is it Super Mario Wonder?
Yes, Super Mario Wonder, which was great because you get to play it 2 months before it came out. So Nintendo had a big stand with just that. And then Sega had a huge stand which had Persona 5 Tactica, Persona 3 Reload, Yakuza, the man who made his name, and then Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, and it had Sonic Superstars. So all those games, so Sega had the biggest stand, and the game that came the latest were the one, the Like a Dragons, and the Tactic, which came out the following February. Bearing in mind this was October. So you kind of went from, okay, I used to go to EGX and play like Titanfall 2, the Marvel game, which wasn't great, but, you know, got the crate 6 months before. 2 Point Hospital, Spider-Man, 8 months before it came out, The Division 2. And now we've got a handful of games that were coming out literally a couple of months before. And then 2024, they merged it with Comic-Con. And I was like, this isn't be good. And I'm not knocking MCM Comic-Con. In fact, MCM Comic-Con saved it because I'd got a creator ticket for 3 days. So it'd gone from a 4-day event down to a 3-day event. I get that they merged it because they were losing money.
Yeah.
But my bugbear was they were advertising it as EGX. So everyone was like, oh, so is MCM going to take one side of Excel and EGX is going to take the other side? And you get there and it was 2 halls. And people were pissed.
That's painful.
And the only games they had the new Jackbox, which is great. They had the Lego Horizon Forbidden West, which was all right. And then the Assassin's Creed game got pulled because it got delayed. So I was that was the game I was most looking forward to playing at the show. And then in the end, Ubisoft had obviously paid for the space, so they put Star Wars Outlaws in. Bearing in mind, Star Wars Outlaws had already been out for 3 months. So I played it, completed it. It had people going to queue it and play it because they might not have heard of the game. I really like that game. I don't think it deserved the shit that it got. I enjoyed it. It was a perfectly good game. Not a brilliant game, but a good game. But I had no interest in going to that stand and playing it because done that. Played it, gone, you know. And I was like, this is a really shit state for EGX. Because even the area that used to have about 100 indie games had about 20. And if it wasn't for the Comic-Con, I would have been bored shitless. So they merged it again in 2024 and then had the balls to say, and we're doing it in Birmingham. Birmingham had no big name games. It had 20 indie games. I didn't go. I just spoke to people who did go. So I'm glad I didn't waste my money on that. London, the only big name game they had was the new Lego Batman. And annoyingly, the queues went on for hours because there was only 3 machines to try the 20-minute demo.
Oh my God.
Hell.
And I would have been royally pissed, even if I'd got invited to that.
Yeah.
And I made the decision just not to go to either. And now they've so far announced that they are doing the Comic-Cons, but there is no mention of EGX. And if you go onto the EGX site, it automatically takes you to MCM Comic-Con. So I hope they've done the right thing by not calling this EGX anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can have a gaming event at a Comic-Con. Great. Got no problem with that. But don't piss on a brand that used to be really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Better them to shut it down, go away, come back with a revamped version and try it. And the same thing happened with Insomnia. And I have a bigger bugbear with Insomnia. So Insomnia was a great brand, for the esports and LAN. And it brought creators together, very esports centric, very creator centric. And then the bastards ran away with the money. And if anyone says that's not correct and you want to sue me, come at me for it. I don't give a shit. And
that's going to get clipped. I just know that.
I'm going to say this now. Fuck the bosses of Insomnia for doing this. And fuck what they did, because there was a lot of people that didn't get paid. Presenters, hosts, cosplayers, people that did a lot of work there behind the scenes, didn't get paid. Suppliers, I know some eventually did get paid, but it took them up to 5-6 months. There's still people to this day that have not got paid. And then last year, Insomnia announces, we're coming back. And I sat on the fence because I was like, if this is new people taking the brand and trying to resurrect it, fair play.
Yeah.
But if it's the same money-robbing bastards behind it, then this event deserves to burn in hell.
Yeah. 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And it turned out that they had a new team running it, but the same owners that had run off with the money were still running it. Now, they didn't go back to the NEC because they owe the NEC money. So they're not going to be allowed back. And they basically then decided to book Staffordshire County Ground, which is a lovely place to go if you're doing horse trials. But it is a tiny venue out in the middle of nowhere. And immediately the whole gaming community turned on that event, me included. Because they were basically trying to cover up that they didn't owe people money and blah, 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 and they're doing this and that. I know for a fact that they were so desperate to get exhibitors in because the exhibitors wouldn't touch it, that they were having to get marketed agencies to try and market it to try and get exhibitors. I know they approached certain indie devs who basically turned around and said, we are not having anything to do with your event because it's got such bad reputation. I know certain suppliers that were approached and basically said, if we get our money up front, we'll do it.
Yeah.
And ironically, the conversations went cold. And literally a couple of weeks ago, surprise, surprise, they announced that they were cancelling the whole event. And nobody fucking cared.
Mental.
No.
Because the stuff that came out on social media was, you fucking deserve this.
Yeah, 100%.
But what I will say is those are examples of events that where it's gone a bit wrong. And I know I've given EGX a hard time, but I understand why they did what they did. But they shouldn't have branded it as EGX.
No.
Because they were deceiving people by the way they rebranded that. And I still even enjoyed the years where it was a bit scaled down because at least there was stuff to do. But rather being a 4-day game event, you could get round it in a day. And I did see comments going, I walked around it in 10 minutes and left. I was like, well, then you really didn't.
Yeah, you didn't give it the time.
Don't take the piss with it, all right?
Yeah. That's one of my arguments. Sorry to cut you off a bit.
No, go for it.
One of my arguments was like, people will go, oh, I didn't quite like Red Dead Redemption 2 because I never got past the snow mission. And I'm a bit like... and I'm looking at you, Coach Mark, because I know you did it as well. And I'm just like, it's like an hour to get through that bit. Like, give it a minute, you know?
I know people who said that. I know some gaming journalists who said that, which I'm not going to name and shame them because they're mates, and I'll probably get blacklisted from everything. But for me, I can't comment on Red Dead Redemption 2. Not my kind of game. And I saw lots of playthroughs of the first one, and I just went, I know I'm not going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
That's
more than fair.
So I can't slag the game off because I've not played it. And I know loads of people who love it and have it in very high regard, and that's cool. And again, not going to knock them for that. I think that the gaming world has changed. gaming companies saw that they can do their own thing, do it online, or do events, certain smaller scale events.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is there is a lot more smaller gaming events coming to the UK that are thriving and are doing well. But they're never going to be on the scale of what we did have. Now, some have tried and unfortunately failed. We saw some big failures. And again, I'm not going to knock them. At least they tried. There were some that were clearly scams where I think there was one in Malvern. They put something on. It was 40 quid a ticket. People turned up. It was big empty hall. And there was a couple of traders, like 4 traders, and like this thing that was connected to an emulator or something. And the owners weren't even there. They'd run off with the money. So there's clearly scam events going on as well. I think eventually one day bigger game events will come back. But I think the UK scene has been tarnished so much that the gaming public don't have the faith in gaming events. And I don't blame them. Because they're like, well, if I spend 20 quid, 5 quid, 40 quid, 150 quid, looking at you, Insomnia, 150 quid for a ticket, you're taking a piss, to go to a gaming event and it's shit or it's a con, yeah, I wouldn't bother going to other gaming events as well. I think some other countries, it still goes on. Ironically, the people that did own EGX did sell off the rights to things like PAX East, PAX West. Still do really well. Gamescom is the prime example that if anybody still needed this, we needed it. And Gamescom is the mecca of all gaming events. And it's the one that, do you know what, the publishers, the gaming companies have gone, well, if we're going to do one event, it's this. Because we know it's going to get the footfall, it's going to get the press. We can show off our game whether it's coming out in 2 months or 2 years' time, and people will be raving about it. So if we can get that and the Tokyo Game Show, you know, being in the UK, not everyone can afford to go to Germany or Tokyo, you know. You know, it's so hopefully one day, to answer your question, it might come back to the UK. We have got DreamHack, but DreamHack is not that type of event. Again, DreamHack is probably going to replace Insomnia because DreamHack is esports centric, which is great. They've got the big international esports events, very creator centric. So if you want to come and meet all these wonderful creators, fantastic. They've got a small indie gaming area, and then everything else is like games that you can join with your mates. So it's very much the Comic-Con of gaming, which is a good thing in that respect. But if you want to play new games, try out indie games, it's not that. So it has its own space. So I hope that you know, this time next week when it's on, it becomes a massive success. I hope it does really well because
I think it will. I think it's going to be really good. And the way that, I'm not going to lie, I didn't really know all that much about DreamHack, but obviously, like, you'll know this from streaming onto it. You'll follow a streamer, and then that streamer might raid you, and more people will come in, and you go, these people, and you start building these little networks and stuff. And so I started following these people on Instagram, like Jessica and Strobes, and they're both going to DreamHack. So I was like, oh, I know these people are really cool. I want to go and see that. And then I saw that you were going. I was like, oh, amazing. So me and another creator, I don't know whether you will know who he's been in your streams, Game Matter.
I know Game Matter.
He's coming as well. So we're going to be there, which will be really good. But I'm really looking forward to it. Do you know what's brilliant about having you on the podcast? I've got a list of questions here. And we've got content creation and then guest specialist questions. And I think you have answered every single one of those questions just by cracking on with it. And I love it. Makes our jobs really easy.
Do you know what? This is the funny thing, right, with me is I am probably a presenter's worst nightmare, but also their best friend, because by the end of it, you'll go, hey, we covered everything, but I didn't actually talk about it.
Well, this is the thing. Like, we did season 1 to kind of figure out what the formula is, and if we actually add chemistry, and if this would work as a podcast. And we were like, okay, good, this works. We're getting a few views here and there. Happy days. Then season 2, we were like, we want to get guests on. We just don't really know how to go about it. And season 3, we've gone, right, we're going to get better at networking. We'll make an email. We'll, we'll really knuckle down. And then I think bar 1, this whole season's been guest-centric. And we've seen, like, obviously, we do it so that people listen and view, but that's not our main metric. But obviously, having guests on, people are going to want to listen, because if it's just me and Poetic the entire time, people are going to get bored. It's just us. It needs to, like.
I think I totally agree with the guest angle, because that's all we've ever done on TNGC for like no, that's wrong. 250 plus shows we've done. There's
that's
always
mad in itself.
It's rarity that
that's nuts.
I think because podcasts can be just 1 or 2 hosts and never necessarily guests. And I guess it's you'll always have your core group of listeners. But I think also, depending on what topics you talk about, is what might pull people in, because someone might never listen to it and go, "Oh, you're talking about such and such." I'll listen and hopefully they'll stay. I think guests do help, but I don't think they're always necessarily the be all and end all. So if this is the format that's now working for you, great, go with it. But if there's any other podcasters listening out there going, "Oh, but it's working well, we're just having our presenters and people," like, great, stick with that. I think it's that old phrase, isn't it? Horses for courses, whatever works for you.
That's it.
I think you're right, but also other people are right as well. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Great, crack on with it. But very much so.
What I'm gonna do, there's one question that I can see just on the kind of the events thing that I definitely want to get your opinion on it. And Poetic, you can pick a few as well, and then we'll move on to the general game. But my one is, after months of planning, when the lights go out on the final night, before Timeless or any of the other events that you spoke at and things, what is the last thing that you want everyone to take away from the event?
I'll aim this at Timeless more so, because it kind of falls hand in hand with the other events that we do. If we, regardless of how well the event's gone, obviously we want the event to go well. But I think if we've had people, when we get feedback who said, and we have had this, and I'm not just saying this to blow our trumpet, when people said, "This is the only event I will ever go to now," or "This is the best gaming event I have been to," and we've had that, and I am very, very flattered by that. I'm sure there's other gaming events that are far better than ours. I'm going to say that now, because if you went to Gamescom, you go, "Yeah, fuck Timeless." But it means a lot. But I think the fact that if people have been able to actually connect with people that they've only ever seen on a screen or only talked to in a Discord voice chat, if they've managed to get their family out for a day and shared their love of gaming, if they've gone to meet people that are friends, and it's the one thing that managed to bring them as a group all together, and whether they joined in any of the activities or not, or just stood at the bar and had a great laugh for 12 hours or whatever, then we've done our job. And that I can walk away with that, and regardless of the financial situation of how we run the event, or whether some guests were good, some guests weren't, whether people have cancelled us or not. Do you know what? None of that shit matters. As long as they've had a good time, we've done our job as event organisers.
I think that's the best way to look at it, because when I went, as I said before, I went on my own, and there was a store. I might still have them. Yeah, I bought. There was a store. I'll see if I can get it.
Yeah, go for it.
And I can't remember the guy's name, so you'll have to forgive me. Ruining me.
He just destroys his
break everything.
So I got this.
Oh, so from Mark, who is the gaming news agent.
Yes, that's it. So I bought this, and obviously this is from 1998, or maybe like 99, because it's F1 98. But I thought, this is the year I was born. I want a magazine from that year. So, because game magazines kind of fading out around the time that I was kind of getting into game, like PS1, PS2 era. So I thought, I'll get that, and I got my mum one with like, you know, Spyro and Tomb Raider, like Hercules, and then I got my dad's one with, like, you know, Splinter Cell and all that stuff. And I got each one of them. I think it was like £2 each, or like, and it was like, and I had a conversation with the guy, and then someone came up to me, and I feel really bad because I connected with them, and then we parted ways, and I think we both kind of forgotten each other's names, but we spent the whole day together at Timeless, and I never really knew. And you know, I subscribed to him, he subscribed to me, and we followed each other on things. And we actually like competed together on Split Fiction to do the to win, you know, the mouse and things. And I remember winning the mouse, and just morbid curiosity kind of got the better of me, and I was kind of like, I wonder how much that mouse actually is, because in my head I was kind of like, it's probably just a fiver mouse, and I looked it up and it was like a 30-40 pound mouse, and I was like, I paid like £15 for the ticket. So if you look at it from just like a monetary value, obviously the value of the event is much more than just money, but just monetary value, I'd made my money back from the event just by playing the game, and obviously meeting someone I'd never met before. And
this is the thing, because we're very fortunate. I'm a big shout out to Techwear for the mouses, by the way. Here you go. We are very fortunate. We get lots of companies that are willing to, and so we had Rebellion gave us loads of game codes. We had Silver Lining, who were another company, but they changed names recently last year. We had codes from Jackbox. We had stuff from Logitech. We had stuff from Toonpoint Studios. We had stuff from Twitch. We had stuff from Xbox. We were very, very fortunate. The guys from the Gamer Guides, guys and girls from Gamer Guides, got us a ton of prizes. Amazing prizes. People, Kepler Interactive Centre. So all these people are very kindly donate stuff to us. And yes, some of the value of some of the stuff, like we do a competition where obviously we did the usual thing, creators get a code and you can get a discount off tickets if you use their code and blah blah blah. But we want to reward the creators that sell the most tickets. And 2 years previous we had a Logitech chair. We had two of them, and they're worth 150 quid, gaming chair. So we gave one away to Luna Lizzie, won it that year, streamer from Coventry. She won it for selling the most tickets. And then we randomly gave one out to a ticket holder, because we also want to reward people who bought tickets. So, and then last year it was Moonchild who won it, and she won a whole setup with a keyboard. I think it was about 250 quid's worth of stuff. And we gave away, oh my god, what we gave away? We gave away some really cool stuff. We even had 2 Point backpacks that had copies of the latest 2 Point game, and it had like t-shirts, hoodies, a little compass, and stuff. We're like, and you know, you look at those packs and you go, well, there's a fucking £60 game in there.
Yeah.
Alone. So yeah, we're very fortunate we get loads of good prizes, but again, people just meeting people. We had people that said, Christ, I only ever met them at your event, and now we're really good mates and they've made friends. Again, it falls this thing is we want it to be open to everybody and everything, and you know, we want to make it one of the safest, most friendliest gaming events we possibly can. And it's funny because again, the security, again, I'm going to say were brilliant. The guy, the head of security, came up to me and went, and his exact words were, fuck me, can you run this every week? He said, because we have to deal with week in, week out with other events. He said, you're lot, you've got 600 and something plus people here. And he said, the most friendliest, nicest people on the planet. And I said, I can't take the credit for that. That's down to those people.
So
they loved it. And when we rebooked it, apparently the security were like, yay, they're coming back.
I think to a certain extent you can take the credit for it, because obviously you fostered that environment, and you know, you've got your set of principles of, you know, this is how we're gonna act and this is how I'm gonna act, and you know, that gets pushed out to like other people. Like for me personally, I work in a school environment with SEND children, and one thing that I've learned is people react to your emotion and they will mimic that emotion. So you kind of go in, like, I remember when you ran up on stage and the amount of energy, I was like, whoa. Like, and at that point, I didn't really, and forgive me for this, but I didn't really know of you at that point. And like, it's middle-aged gamer guy. I was like, who's this guy? And you come on and you're all
on stage. Get him on.
Not like that, obviously. And I remember seeing it. And I was like, this is gonna be good. That was the thought that went through my head, because this was probably like, I think there's been like an hour to kind of like people settle in, and you know, and then you came on. I was like, this is gonna be, I'm gonna really enjoy myself here. And I think correct me if I'm wrong, it's a good long event. It's like a good 12
it's about
hour
12
event.
hours.
Yeah, and I usually with those types of things, because I'd tell lie, it wasn't my first gaming event. It was my first good gaming event, because I went to Insomnia way back when. But usually I'd stay for maybe like 3 hours, go around and have a mooch and everything. With this one, I was talking to people. I was, meeting creators. I was playing games, and like I think I stayed for at least a good 7-8 hour stint of it, which the majority of it. And I think this year I'm going to try and stay for the whole thing if the fiance lets me.
This is the funny thing. So there's two things. One, we did think, God, it's a bit of a long day, because like the early entry creator tickets, VIP tickets, they get in at 10 a.m. Everyone else comes in at 11 a.m. But the idea is, because we run a VIP night for the creators and the people who buy the VIP tickets, and we put something on. So the night before, we'd had Jason Bradbury back to give us an update on the film that he's making. So it was just 200 creators, plus all our special guests were there. So it meant that they could talk to them the night before the event. And we're doing that again this year. And we've got Ashens as our special guest. And we're doing something else that I'm not going to say, because I don't want to get a flat wrist again.
Okay.
But then the idea is
they
and they get all their wristbands and stuff. So it means at 10 a.m. they just walk straight in, so they don't have to queue. And then it means all the creators and all the VIP tickets are already in. So then at 11 o'clock, everyone else that's got tickets for the day can get in, get their wristbands, go in. And it's that thing of, from just before 12, we have stuff on the stage going from 12, and I think we went all the way to 9 o'clock at night. And it was still really busy. And some of the stall holders, they agreed that around about 6 o'clock they can pack up and go, because it's a long day. Some agreed they'll stay there till 10 o'clock, right? And we have the arcade open until like later. So the bit where we had that, and we have the challenge stage, and the challenge stage runs 12 till 6. So there is like a slight drop in numbers, but we were still really busy up till 9 o'clock at night. The Did You Know Gaming guys doing their big quiz to end the night off. But there was a load of people in the arcade, so we shut down the one venue, and then the arcade was like, well, the arcade's still a load of people in the arcade. So we were all packing up and doing everything and getting out. We were like, there's still people here. So this year we've basically said, well, what we're going to do, we've got the main concert that runs from 12 till 6 or 7, plus the challenge stage that will run for a couple of hours. The arcade's open all day, but when we do the evening entertainment, which this year is going to be Wi-Fi Wars, when that ends by about 9 o'clock, we're going to have extra stuff going on in the arcade till midnight.
Oh, nice.
So if people want to go around the arcade and they haven't had the chance, they've got another 3 hours to do that. But also, if they don't want to do that, I'm not going to say what we're doing, but it's for those like more the adult orientated groups of people. There's certain things that go hand in hand with having drinks and doing like more of an adult orientated thing. An activity if they want to do that. So, I don't expect 1,000 people or 800 people or 600 people or whatever we get to all be in there. But if we've got a couple of hundred people in there who still want and enjoy the day, that's great. And that just shows that people love the event and that they want to spend as much time there. And the other thing, going on about the fact that you said, you didn't know who I was, I reckon half the audience don't know who I am. I don't mind that. At the end of it's really weird. People probably just think I'm some MC that gets booked to do the event. I might not know I'm one of the main 3 guys that runs the event. I am very, very hands-on, and I think this lends well to the community thing, that you get organisers of gaming events that you may never see, but they will run a really good gaming event, but you will never know who they are.
Yeah.
I'm very much to the point that I work with communities, I deal with communities. I'm very like the face of Timeless. I try not to be on stage as much, so I just kind of come on and do little bits, and then we get guest hosts to do the big chunk of stuff. Now, unfortunately, with the What Culture thing, our guest host fell ill, so it was like, shit, I'm gonna have to get up and do it, which is great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, but trying to organise an event and being on stage so many hours is quite difficult. So if I can hop on stage, do a quick 5 minutes, go blah 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 blah, and your next thing is boom, get off. It gives me the time to sort out stuff that needs sorting, but also speak to all the people that are there.
Yeah.
If people want to, you know, come and talk to me and blah blah blah, or if they're just going, do you know where such and such is? And I can go, yeah, you got to go round there, up there, and it's there. You know, so I want to be very in the crowd. If you want to speak to me, I'm there. And if you want to ask me where the nearest toilets are, that's fine. I don't care. I'm there to basically be there for the people that go to the gaming event. And I think that's always going to be something that's a big part of it. And I think that's, again, does lend to the fact that regardless of whether you know who I am or not, I'm not someone that goes on stage, says a bit, and then disappears into a back room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm there if the people who've paid the money for the tickets need me to ask me or just want a chinwag or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I try and get around to speak as many people as I can as well, which does mean I'm absolutely dead by the end of the event.
I can imagine.
But I think people appreciate that I take the time out to speak to people, you know.
I think as well, it's nice for people, like, obviously people who, you know, now I'm kind of coming, and I hope you take this as a compliment, I'm coming as a bit more of a fan of you now.
Oh, bless you, thank you.
Because I obviously I watch your streams and I understand, you know, even like I struggle, and me and Poetic both struggle, like getting guests on for this podcast, never mind the whole convention. So to a you know, a very small extent, I can understand how difficult it must be to organise. Also now kind of I'll be going and I'll be watching the panel and I'll be looking at you going, he looks fucking knackered. Should I go get him a drink?
Do you know what? The funny thing was last year, I was even more knackered before we did the event. And I'll be honest, last year was probably the most smoothest running event we've had because things happen behind the scenes. And granted, obviously, we had a guest host drop out ill. Couldn't be, so we sorted it. But it was the most smoothest running event. And it's the first time in 4 years I actually got to enjoy it. And there was times where I was sitting with the crowd in the audience, watching what they were watching and just chatting to people, enjoying it. And the previous years, I've never got to do that because I'm running around like a headless chicken. And that is a combination of, one, we think we've cracked the formula. So me and the team have got what we need to do to make this work. Two, the great people that we have that do the stuff on stage that takes all the heat off me. And then also we have some fantastic volunteers that come and help out. And, you know, we make sure they get food covered, accommodation covered, so they're not coming like money doing this because they're giving up their time. But we ensure that they only work 1 or 2 hours maximum, so that then they can enjoy it and go out. And
that's nice.
Without them, that event would not run smoothly. And the biggest thing we had was it ran brilliantly, but 4 days before, I was running another event.
Oh, mate.
So I was over in Derbyshire running the gaming arena at Bloodstock Festival. And it was the first year we'd done it. And I was shattered because I'd gone down there on the Thursday to sort stuff out and then ran the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, drove to Liverpool on the Monday. We built the whole event Tuesday day, then ran the VIP night, then ran the whole thing Wednesday. So I was at the venue from 8 o'clock in the morning till midnight. And then I died in Liverpool on the Thursday, and then slowly made my way back on the Saturday. But I've got to do 4 days of Bloodstock this year because it's their big anniversary. So I'm doing 4 days of that before Timeless. So we will literally finish the Sunday night, then drive to Liverpool and do it again. But I've also the week before might be doing stuff at Radar Festival in Manchester and running an area. So they might just wheel out my corpse. And then just do like a pre-recorded message, and if they pull a bit of string, my mouth will flap. Nobody will notice a difference. It'll be the same experience. So I always make the
that's
joke that
brilliant.
I actually died years ago, but I'm so full of hot air that my body and mouth are just still flapping along like it is now. So
yeah. I think that's our
brilliant.
title there. We interview the corpse.
yeah. I'm a walking gaming corpse. There you go.
I like it.
Well, actually, I've got 2 questions, but
Yeah.
firstly, why MAG? And as you get older, will the name change? So senior aged gaming guy, and then once you have died from running all these events, dead age gamer guy.
No age gamer guy.
6 feet under gamer
no
guy. So okay, so this is a weird thing that people don't get, and I get this a lot. So middle-aged gamer guy was the thing that I came up with, and everyone was like, when I first started, they went, "I don't get it. Why are you middle-aged gamer guy?" And I'm like, I'm in my mid-40s.
No, you're not.
I fucking am.
Bloody hell.
I am. You're calling me a liar? No,
everyone
no, I am.
Look young, play games.
I know. Do you know what? That is the 50,000 gallons of oil of Ulay that gets sent to my house every week. Keeps the skin nice and smooth. No, I am very fortunate that I look a lot younger than I am. So I am 46 going on 50. And it felt the right point because it's so funny because you always see these things in TikToks where people go, "You're in your 30s, you're too old to be a gamer." And there's me sitting there thinking, "Fuck me." And you get that a lot, and you see that thing as people, and then you see these other like tweets or whatever. People, "Oh, who's a gamer in their 30s? Hands up, respect to you." And who's a guy? And I'm like, well, technically, then by gaming standards, I am middle-aged, right? Because if I'm in my 40s, I'm middle-aged. Technically, if I hit 50 in real life terms, I should be middle-aged.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, okay, I'm cheating the system a bit by 10 years, so I'll go with middle-aged gamer guy. And that seemed to stick and went well. And it was actually my community that within a year started calling me MAGG or MAGGs. And it kind of stuck.
I love that.
And I love that. I cannot take any credit for that. And thank you to my wonderful mods and community that did that. So now I don't use middle-aged gamer guy as much.
Yeah.
So I say, hey, I'm MAGG or MAGGs, also known as middle-aged gamer guy. There is coming a point that I actually want to shift it, and I've already spoken to, because the nice thing is when you do become Twitch partner, it does open up different opportunities and things, but it also opens up some other things that you wouldn't think of, like the fact I can change my name now.
Oh yeah.
So say if I didn't want to be called, I don't know, if I wanted to be called Ice Cream Sunday or whatever, I don't care. I could, as long as no one else has got that, I can technically apply for that. I've looked into it. I am seriously looking at changing my name to MAGG, like full stop. It still will have the moniker of middle-aged gamer guy, but it means, to answer your other question, Poetic, is the fact that when maybe if I'm still doing this when I'm 70, I could still be called MAGG.
MAGG, yeah.
But you know, I could say, well, I am changing the other bit, the little bit that's in brackets from middle-aged gamer guy to old-age gamer guy. I could do that, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I wasn't changed to senior age gamer guy because then it'd be SAG.
SAG.
Yes, SAG.
And then OAG.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing, because I think I'll get away with middle-aged gamer guy for
a good while.
A good while, yeah. I'm not going to put a date on it because that might come back to kick me in the ass. But I do want to change that name, and we are looking into it, and the fact that I can do that now, so it might be that you see me titled more as MAGG or MAGGs, more. But I'm still that. I've still got a bit of mileage in me, so
nice. Definitely.
And then I know you briefly touched on this, but what exactly goes into like curating for an event like Timeless?
11 months of hard work, and a lot of unanswered emails, a lot of unanswered phone calls, and a lot of chasing people. A lot of pulling your hair out when you finally agree a load of stuff and then it all falls through. I think the biggest thing is perseverance. I think there's a lot of perseverance. There's a hell of a lot of luck. I'm not going to lie. We were over the moon that we managed to get all the team from What Culture last year. And it was just, I kid you not, I did a bit of investigating. Jesse did some, one of the team members did some investigating and said, look, they're in the top 10 podcasts in the UK for gaming podcasts.
Yeah.
I looked into the company that overall runs them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these podcasts are owned by bigger companies, etc.
Yeah.
So by Future Publishing that also does a lot of magazines and a lot of other stuff. So then we went there and then we spoke to the management of them and said, look, is it possible that we could get the team to come and speak to it? And they went, do you know what? We'll put you in touch with Scott, because Scott's overall, at the time, Scott was overall in charge. He's taken a big step back. He's still involved, but he's not doing as much. So we had a chat with Phil, I think it was, and Scott, who basically said, hell yeah, we'd love to do this, because we haven't done like this for years. And do you know what? I'm going to say that was down to pure, yes, it was a bit of investigating it and breaking it down. And it's the same with this year, you know. We got two of the guys from the Dave show, Go 8-Bit, which ran for 3 seasons. And the guys weren't just the panel host, they're the actual guys that wrote the show. So we managed to get Steve. Steve was introduced to me by another mate of mine. I'm going to say it's Ashens, who obviously has been at our event and is at our event again. And he said, I need to introduce you to Steve. And because of that introduction, that got Steve. And Steve was like, I don't know if you're going to be able to get Sam, but you want to might try this. We actually just reached out to Sam on Instagram, and Sam just replied instantly.
Nice.
I'm going to say this now. We are still trying to get Dara Brian. If we get him, great. I've gone down multiple routes. Some have been like, no. We're trying some other routes to see if we can get him. If we get him, great. Can't guarantee we will, but if we have, then we've got the main presenter and the 2 shows. Unfortunately, Ellie, who's like the fountain of knowledge on the show, she's away on holiday. She replied quite quickly, and she was like, I've booked a holiday that week and I'm away for 2 weeks. And we're like, fair enough. But she responded, which was great. So Ellie Gibson we couldn't get. But we got Sam and Steve so far. But it's a lot of that. It's a lot of liaising with the venue, planning out how it works. Because again, we had a new venue, so it was almost like starting from scratch again last year.
Yeah.
And then reaching out to the creators, partners, sponsors, you know, the people that want to exhibit. And I think when we first did this event, we only had 150 people turn up, and we put together an event and it went really well, but we planned it in 4 months, which is insane.
Wow.
We quickly realized that if you're doing an event like that, you need to be 12, 15 months ahead of yourself to do it. So literally the day after we finished last year's Timeless, we were sat in a cafe around the corner working out what we wanted for the next event. And I'd already got ideas in mind, but there was other logistic things, because we were already going, well, what worked well at that and what didn't. And then we got all the feedback forms. So some people were said, oh, you know, so being the building that it's in, there's not a lot we can do about disability access. But we tried to put things in place to make it easier for the people who've got wheelchairs. And we put a load of information on the website. We put a load of information with the tickets, and we sent emails out to all the people in wheelchairs. And do you know how many of those people read that email?
Every single
How many?
0.
Oh.
Right? So that meant they didn't realise that we'd organised something special, because they could get to the ground floor of the arcade, but they can't get to the second floor.
Yeah.
Which is one of the biggest floors. But we'd arranged that if they'd gone to the front desk, we would then have them escorted round to another entrance, which was all flat, which would then go up that ramp that you see as you walk up the stairs to get them in and gaming floor. And not a single person, and all of them sent us emails saying we couldn't get to the second floor. And I sat there and I could have gone, well, you didn't read the fucking email. You should have read the fucking email. What I did was go, we need to make this easier for them then. So we have said for this year, when they turn up, regardless of whether they read the email or not, we're going to give them a little special flyer to say, please read this. It's got all the information that will get you around the venue as safely as possible. And if you need anything, come to the front desk. And we had radios linked to the team at the arcade. So they were waiting to, and they went, I think we had one thing that we had to go and do. And they said it was quite quiet for us. It was nice and easy. I was like, it shouldn't have been like that.
Yeah.
And so we're going to make it where we're going to put things around the venue to say, look, if you need it, go to the front desk. Anything you need, go to the front desk. We'll sort it out for you. So it's not a case of fucking hell, read an email, because we get reads emails. It could have been their junk in their spam. It's going to be a case. We know there's a load of people that bought the normal tickets that didn't bloody read emails, but you know they're emailing, they're sending us emails saying, "I'm a bit confused about this. Can you explain this?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." Because at the end of the day, we want people to have a good experience,
100%.
and we're not gonna, you know, it's like right, we need to rethink how we're doing this to make it work for the people.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So yeah, brilliant. So it's not a thing. We'll go right. It didn't work. It's a fault on our part that they didn't read the email. That's not their fault. That's our fault.
Yeah,
we need to fix that. So
I think that's really good. Like being, self-aware like that, because like I think a lot of people would have gone down that route of like, well, check your emails, and just send an email saying, please see attached, or something like that. And the fact that you've gone, well, no, like if something's gone wrong, it's our event. Let's take responsibility for it and crack on. Moving a little bit away from the events.
Yeah, sure.
And just going generally into gaming. Poetic, I'll do my question first and then you double back up.
Yeah, of course.
Question, very, very simply, what is your favourite game? And it can be of all time, it can be what you're playing right now. I know it's a big one in the first, direct question at you.
Yeah, okay. Favourite game right now. Last week I finished Resident Evil Requiem.
Nice.
Loved it. I have seen people who've got mixed feelings on it. I loved it. I can't wait to see what they do next with it. I was very, very hyped for that game, and it didn't disappoint. Whereas last year there was a number of games that I was very, very hyped for. Looking at you, and doing the Dark Ages, that massively disappointed. And they weren't bad games, but they were very mediocre at best. That was my best game of so far this year. It's funny, I've already got 4 or 5 games. We're only in the middle of, coming into the back end of March. I've got 4 or 5 games that have been excellent. I think I always pick a top 5, and I think it's going to be bloody hard work this year, the way it's going. Favourite game of last year was a small indie title called Keeper, made by Double Fine, Tim Schafer's lot that did... Broken Age. Oh God, now I can't think of any of their games. That's really embarrassing. The one with Jack Black, where he's the rock musician.
Oh, Brutal Legends.
Psychonauts, the 2 Psychonauts games.
Yeah, Psychonauts is amazing.
Yeah, brilliant studio. It's a game about a lighthouse that falls over, magically grows legs, and has to save its island. And it's beautiful. And it's great. And ironically, Claire Obscura Expedition 33 was my second favourite game. I hate RPGs, but that was my second one.
Yeah.
I think this just had something about it that just grabbed me. And I was I love this.
Yeah.
Favourite games of all time. I haven't got a favourite game. I've got a couple.
There's too many.
Yeah. Far Cry 3.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely brilliant. The bit at the end, annoying how they deliver that. If everyone's not played it, I'm not going to spoil that.
Yeah.
But it's got probably one of the biggest and best villains in a game ever. Don't like what they did to the last 8 for that game with that, because I was like, you could have done so much more with that, and you tossed it in the garbage. But still, generally, great game. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which is
nice,
part of the number 2 series. So Assassin's Creed 2 is a fantastic game, but with Brotherhood, they added so much more, and it was such a better experience.
Yeah.
And it's still today my favourite Assassin's Creed game out of all of them. I know a lot of people love Black Flag. I do as well.
Yeah,
I just think it's just the right balance of stuff. I had, I think I spoke this on Miles' podcast, a PlayStation 2 game called Total Overdose.
I don't think I've
not many people know about. It's basically a GTA rip-off.
Yeah.
But it's all set in Mexico, and it's very humorous. And it spins around the fact that there's 2 brothers, and one is a cop and one is bit of like the bad egg of the family.
Yeah.
But Pop gets in an accident, but for a special deal to go down where they're going to get the cartel, his brother has to pose as him and infiltrate the thing. And it's just very well done. And they kind of did a sequel, which was on PSP, but they never did get the sequel. And it's very good fun. And it's like half GTA, half Max Payne.
Yeah.
It was great. But things not many people know about it, and I loved every minute.
Yeah, I think some of the best games are the like the little indie ones. Like one of my favorite games of all time is Thomas Was Alone or Thomas Is Alone.
Yeah.
And that is literally a game about shapes. And
yeah,
but like on the surface, that's what it looks like, but it's actually like about friendship. And I'm assuming you'll know who this creator is if you know of Ashen's, but Nerd Cubed did a video on it, and I remember watching it and going, "Oh my god, this is so good."
It's interesting. My especially with the streaming, I've noticed not necessarily my gaming tastes have changed, but the way especially when we get to the end of the year, because we do a Christmas special where we rate 15 of the best games of that year, and we have a guest, so they get to pick 5, and then my co-host and me pick 5, and we very carefully do it so no one has any crossover. So there we have got 15 games, because there are games that we all like.
Yeah.
But then it's like we only want to mention it once because, there's other games we want to cram in. And I've noticed, especially over the last 2-3 years, it's the games, especially last year, 4 out of my 5 games were games that made me feel something.
Yeah.
Hit me and emotionally got to me. And I think that says something about the way maybe I'm changing as a gamer, or the way that I like how narratives are built and stuff. A game that's great fun, and I just carry on playing for the year, will highly likely get in there. But I just think it's that thing that nearly every game, 4 out of the 5 games, there was a point where it nearly made me cry, or I did cry, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. And I'm like, shit, this is written so well that I'm feeling this like I'm watching a really good film. That's the case. This shows you how good this is. With everything, the music's done, the artwork, the storytelling. Yeah, I think that's the thing with me now. It's got to be that. It's also a curse with streaming because you can play hundreds and hundreds of games. And I do play on average 2 new games a week.
Yeah.
Okay? Wow.
That's a lot of games. And some do get forgotten about and put by the wayside. And I'm very sorry to those devs that I do that. And I kid you not, in my emails, I must get offered 20 or 30 games to try out a week. And I have to decline or just delete the email. Because some are not in a category that I'd ever play, right? So I wouldn't accept that, so fair enough. But I do feel bad because there's so many great games out there that have probably never been heard of. And I will probably never get to play. But I try my best to try and cover as much, whether it's indie, single lone dev or AAA. I try and give everything a fair shout as much as I can.
No, it's fair. By the way, I wanted to mention this at the start, but
sure.
I saved it till now. Your background is fucking amazing.
Oh, thank you.
But that leads me on to the question. What is the Holy Grail in your collection?
Or behind me? Oh.
Well, no, just in general. It doesn't have to be behind you, but
I love the questions where we make the guests think. Taking a minute. So, I like it.
Obviously, when I moved out of my house, because I was talking about the studio I had. Studio had everything in it. I live in quite a small house now, so the space that you see is the space I've got. So if I go this way, I'm literally into almost a wall. So half of my collection is stored in boxes, unfortunately now. And one day I might move into a bigger space, hopefully, and I'll be able to have everything
out again.
So just on the shelves right now, I have very fond memories of. Do you know what? The little box. I don't know if you could see it. It's just hidden here. It does light up, but I've not lit up. Just it. Someone made me this. So there's this.
Oh wow!
And this Twitch trophy up here, right?
Yeah.
The light box that lights up that says it's got my logo on it. And someone made that for me and gave me that. And the first year of my streaming, my community got together and bought that award for me. And that's when I reached 500 viewers. And they presented to me at that EGX where we met up.
Oh, wow.
Ironically, it's the stuff that's been given to me by the fans that I adore. I do love a lot of this stuff. Yeah, don't get me because I've gone and bought it or whatever. But there is stuff like that means more to me than anything else, I'll be honest. And that's why they take pride and place on the show. I used to do a lot of Sea of Thieves, and someone 3D printed me this skull, and it glows in the dark.
Sick.
I love it. Sick. I absolutely love it. And I've got from two. I sometimes show this on the thing. This is a pixel version of me.
That's amazing.
I also call it like Bob Ross because it looks like me. Bob Ross. But I love this, and we use this on some of the talk shows where it's there. And someone made that for me and gave that to me at the event.
That's amazing.
I got given on another podcast I was at. Someone heard me say that I never owned a Game Boy, and I really wanted. And they gave me a Game Boy Color.
Oh, amazing!
What?
3 games down there at Timeless last year. I have been very, very fortunate to have some amazing things, and I thank all the people who've done that because I don't have to do that.
No.
So, there's that. In terms of my gaming collection and stuff, I still have to this day an Atari 2600, which was the first gaming console that my parents had. So they bought it 2 years before I was born in '79. And it still works. So it's got the original pedals and stuff. And I still have my NES, my SNES, and the first computer that my parents ever bought me, which was the Spectrum Plus 3, which was the first Spectrum that came with a disc drive. So you didn't have to sit there for 30 minutes and wait for a game to load on a tape player. But you could put games in. And I have one collection of games that are all Ocean Software games. And I have very fond memories of playing, and one of them is the based on the Stallone film Cobra. And I got to meet quite a few years ago, before I started doing all this, Gary Bracey, who was the guy that basically was organised for getting all the licenses for Ocean Software. So he was responsible for RoboCop, the Michael Keaton Batman game, Jurassic Park, and we were very fortunate to have Gary at our first ever Timeless. And I'm actually at another event interviewing Gary because he's a mate, and I've got this collection. I said to him, I have fond memories of being an 8-year-old playing Cobra, and he went, "Do you know what? Everybody hated that game because they said it was too bloody hard." I said, "I actually completed it." I said, "It took me a bloody long time. I loved it." And he shook my hand and he went, "Thank you," because I had a lot of faith in that game, and I played my day. And so that is like the ultimate thing that holds memories, because that time as an 8-year-old, it was just a collection of games that I loved. And now it's like I've spoken to the guy who's responsible for those games, and he thanked me for playing the game and the fact that I completed it. And
that's amazing.
That's great.
I mean,
so Mag,
sorry, Poetic, do you want to go?
No, I was just gonna say, because you touched on your gaming memories. What would you say has been your favorite gaming memory?
Oh dear God.
Dan's question was probably a lot easier.
No, I was going to say that he's probably answered my question with the last
45 minutes. Yeah. Do you know what? For nostalgia purposes, and you know what? I'm gonna give you a little exclusive here. It's not a Timeless exclusive. It's a something else exclusive, which will get announced in a couple of days. So I won't get into trouble for this.
Okay. We like it.
The first gaming convention I ever went to is my fondest memory, and I went with my dad, and it was Games Master at the NEC.
Oh wow!
So when Games Master was on Channel 4 back in the day, I think they did 2 Games Master lives. I think one was at Birmingham, one was in London, and it was the one that was in Birmingham that had Dominic Diamond, who was the presenter at the time. And it was just fun. I got to try VR for the first time. You remember when they were in those funny things that looked like racing cars that you're sitting in, and you had the big giant heads?
Yeah.
I was doing like a flying World War sim thing, and I was playing all these games, standing in queues, getting to play games. And it's funny how that's transitioned from that to me going to do that now, but now it's what I do for work.
Yeah.
You know, go stand in the queue to try out a game and then give my thoughts on it and go, is this something I'm going to talk about in 6 months' time or not? And that has very fond memories. But the way this ties in is that obviously Dominic Diamond did many seasons of Games Master and then went off to Canada. Obviously, he did a lot of stuff on Channel 5, sports presenter and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a radio host out in Canada, and he's out that way. So this year, and this is what has even more meaning to it, OLL's coming back, which is a gaming event that's taking place in Norwich.
Okay.
So the 2023 event, which was the first event I ever got to speak on stage at, had a 3-year hiatus, and it's coming back this year. And their big guest is Dominic Diamond. And
sick.
And it's going to be his only UK appearance. And they're flying Dominic over. And in the evening, he's going to do like a Games Master style show in the evening with gaming challenges. And little old me is going to get to be in the commentary booth with him live on stage for 10 minutes. Standing next to my childhood hero as we basically roast the people that are doing the challenge.
That's unreal.
And that's going to get announced this week. And it brings back the memories of watching that on Channel 4 for many years. And getting to go to that, my first ever gaming show. But the fact that I'm going to get to be on stage at the event that was basically kind of helped launch my career. It's almost like it's all come full circle now.
It's a literal full circle moment.
Yeah,
that is.
So I can't wait, and that's going to be next month. So I can't. Wait.
Mate, I'll definitely keep a lookout for it. I'm sure there'll be clips and all that about of it. So I'll definitely keep an eye out for it. You kind of answered this one with the Cobra.
Yeah,
because I think you even said that like. Objectively subject. I never know which one. Objectively, it was like not a lot of people like the game. But is there another instance of a game that might not be a great game, but it means a lot to you personally?
Oh God, yeah, there's loads. Oh my God. Games that I played over and over again, but no one liked. I'm
trying to think of mine because that's quite a difficult question, isn't it? What would it be?
It is a difficult question. Most recently, I'd say most recently because this springs to mind.
Yeah.
The Alone in the Dark revamp.
So
that came out nearly 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it had some big names behind it because Jodie Comer was in it and oh God, the guy from Stranger Things.
David Harbour.
Yeah, David Harbour. Yeah. And it was shaping up to be something really good. And when it came out, the reviews were quite naff.
Yeah.
I liked it, I'll be honest. It wasn't great. It was buggy and glitchy. But because of my love for Resident Evil games, I did enjoy it. I kept the copy. Now, there's some games I get that after a while, if I don't like, I will just flog. Now, I never used to do that. I used to keep every game. But now I'm like, I'm never going to play that again because I don't like it. Boom, get rid of it. Someone else can go and enjoy it. That's fair. So that was the one that most recent. So I kept that. A game that oh God.
I know that you're looking at your collection now, but it just looks like you have your head in your hands there.
I loved Mafia 3. That got a lot of stick.
Yeah.
Which is funny because the new Mafia game came out last year. And it felt like a massive step back, but it got better reviews, and I don't know how, because it was the most linear game you ever played. Again, good, just not great. But I thought Mafia 3 was excellent, and I think it didn't come out in a good state. I really enjoyed that, and it seemed to get very mediocre reviews. I loved all the Mafia games, to be fair. I played the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Back on the Xbox One days. Xbox 360 days. Here you go. This will be my definitive answer. the Turok reboot.
I've never heard of that.
So
Am
on
I
Xbox
bad for that?
360, they did and other consoles. They did a Turok reboot, and it had some very famous names. Ron Perlman was one of the actors in it. Timothy Oliphant was one of the voice actors in it, and it's still first person shooter, but they basically decided to give a backstory to behind Turok, so it was almost like a prequel.
Nice.
And it just wasn't well received, but I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved the hell out of it, and I think it was a really good game. Now they've got the new one coming out, so I think Turok Legends, but they're trying to put it back to the way it was on the N64 and PC, and go down that route. And I'm hoping that's going to be good because I'm looking forward to that. But I love that game. I couldn't find fault with it, and not hardly anyone played it. And I think there was also the thing with that, where they always tag on a multiplayer thing. Every game had to have a multiplayer. And you went on there, and the game was only 6 months old, and there was like 2 people playing multiplayer. So the game was a bit dead. But the first person thing was great, and no one talks about it. I think, that and the weird Wolfenstein game that came out in between the PC Wolfenstein and before they rebooted it with Bethesda is one that's more sort of Indiana Jonesy style. It's more to do with the occult.
Yeah,
that was decent as well. No one liked that, so that was good. And I actually didn't really warm to the Wolfenstein reboot. I'll be honest. The New Order, I thought that was okay. I think it got better with the games. New Blood, sorry, not the New Order. New Blood, I didn't warm to that as much. Then they did Old Blood, which was a kind of a weird DLC, which was actually really good fun. And then when they did the New Order, that was really good. And then they did the bloody awful Young Blood, which is when you play the 2 daughters, and it turned out it was a shoot the enemies with the numbers come on the head, and you have to keep playing the levels again and again. And it was like, this ain't Wolfenstein. That was shit.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much been the nail in the coffin of the franchise, unfortunately. But yeah, those were the games that I think should have been given more time and more respect. And no one cared for them. But I played the hell out of them multiple times. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. We'll move over to game and hot takes now.
Okay.
So, usually what we do, me and Poetic like to do this very unscripted, and we kind of, based on the guest's hot take, we come up with maybe a branch off that. So, do you have any hot takes that you haven't already said?
Anything
or you can build on anything that you've already said in the podcast if you want as well. Or would you like us to go first and maybe?
Do you know what? You go first, because there is, I've done a lot of interviews and stuff recently, so maybe I don't want to kind of repeat stuff. So you've got, So you go, and then we'll see where it goes.
Okay, I'm trying to think of one in my head now. I personally think, I don't know if you're gonna like this one, Mag. It's just because it's there.
Okay.
I think that social media is doing a better job at advertising and giving a rounder view of games than gaming magazines ever could. Always took a deep inhale.
Yeah. Okay. I'm 50-50 on this, because I would say for the majority, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that you get a better valid point from people who've actually played the games, social media content creators, give an opinion. I also think sometimes it can be slanted, because certain content creators get paid to give.
I hate that. I hate it.
So there's that side, but then that works both ways. So then you go to the let's say the internet version of print media and print media. So there are a number of companies out there that will review games, that will give honest opinions, which I appreciate, and then some that also probably do paid reviews. Okay, it is very difficult to trust, and I think even I say on my own show, because we don't review the games on our show, we take scores from all the media. So we don't go for the user scores, but we go for all these different sites, and I take it to an average. Now, what's interesting is sometimes that average would be the same no matter what you go on. So say if it's like everyone's saying, oh, it's a 7 out of 10, well, the average works out 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
But you can see some games that really pull people apart, and some people are like, this is 5, it's so average, and people are going, this is an 8, and we end up with a really weird score. So it's difficult to take, but I like to see as many opinions as possible. So I think social media is somewhat to blame, but as helps improve the situation. But I also know there's a number of gaming magazines that still do, to this day, very honest opinions and reviews.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, but I get there's some that don't.
Yeah.
So I think it's a mixed bag. I agree with you, and I also don't agree with you.
I think the point that I was trying, the thing that I think personally is a magazine is much better at going like, that game looks good, I'm going to investigate that more. And then when you go to investigate that more, usually it's the social media aspect type thing. Like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like Poetic recommended Astrobot to me.
Oh, great game.
I'm not a platform guy.
Okay.
I eventually played it, and it is without a doubt one of, not just platformer, the best games I've ever played.
It was our game of the year that year.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But he told me about it, and then I went straight to social media to have a little look. And part of me wishes that I never, because everyone was saying it was good, so I had this expectation. But also, would I have still played the game if I hadn't gone and looked at it more?
Don't you think sometimes with now we've got access to everything, with whereas back in the days it was a magazine, you had pictures and screenshots, and then it was left to you to make the decision. Don't you think now that you might have people who are doing playthroughs stuff? So I'm even criticising my own stuff that I do. Right, because I don't do full playthroughs. I will give a taste of the game, so at least it doesn't give some spoilers. But you could go and watch someone play a game from start to finish. Now that may help you make that decision and go, I want that game more. But you might sit back there and go, oh shit, it spoiled it now, so I won't bother getting it. So it's almost like it's a double-edged sword. Now.
Yeah.
It's weird. I had that with a film. I'm not going to say what film it is. A film that I've not managed to see at the cinema yet that I really want to see. I went on TikTok, and they put the fucking ending on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
And it's ruined it. And I just, by accident, because I was like, oh, this is a clip of the thing, and I realised it was the ending, and I went, bollocks, there's no point in me seeing the film now. I'll wait until it pops up on Netflix and just watch it. So I'm just like, it's just killed that for me, and I'm so pissed at that, because I didn't realise it was a part at the end, where it's explaining the ending, and I'm like, and then I've gone on to see another thing, and it keeps popping up on my TikTok feed now, and I'm like, I'm going to have the old film on there. It's just like, spoil it for me. So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I have got a hot take if you want me before, but I'll let Poetic go first. But I have got
one. I've got one. I know you say you don't like Halo. I don't know why you don't, but that's not the question.
Okay.
My hot take is that first off, Halo is, as a franchise, is basically dead. But I think that PlayStation is going to save Halo.
Oof.
Why do you think that?
Because so far, every game that Microsoft has brought over to PlayStation has done really well.
Yeah, I agree.
And the last big pillar for Microsoft, like the last big game that PlayStation fans haven't experienced, is Halo. And I know people that are just going to go out and buy it just for the fact that they've never experienced the Halo story for themselves. So I think that Halo is going to sell phenomenally well on PlayStation.
I don't disagree, actually. I look at how Forza 5 did. It was one of the best selling PlayStation games of last year, which you kind of go, oh, Sea of Thieves has done fantastically well when it came to PlayStation a couple of years ago. This is difficult for me to answer because I really don't like Halo, but moving from my opinion out of that, from a overall view, looking over, I totally agree with you because I think it will do very, very well. Especially because they're really concentrating on the original core.
Yeah.
Aren't they? See, what would be interesting here is I think there's two things that could happen here. There's a whole other conversation which we won't get to. Is now that PlayStation are pulling their games away from PC.
Yeah.
Because they don't want them to end up on an Xbox machine or a Steam machine.
Yeah.
That I wonder whether Microsoft will stop doing the same. Because now, especially, they're announcing a new console, which is when they said we're not doing a console, we're just going to do this. Now they've changed their mind.
Do you know what? I actually hope they do that. I actually hope they pull their games and just keep it to Xbox.
I think they do, but then they need to get some better games out because they're taking the same old shit, and Microsoft really need to step up their game. Because for the last couple of years, they've been drowning in just regurgitating the same stuff. So, and that's regardless of titles that are great or not. I just stop churning out shite. As I said, I was an Xbox fanboy. I ain't anymore because of decisions that I made over the last 2 years. But I can see Halo doing very well. But here's the interesting thing. So Microsoft technically still own 343.
Yeah.
But Bungie, who made Halo, are now owned by Sony and are holding in there by the skin of their teeth with Marathon. So they really need Marathon to work, which at the moment, the jury's still out on this one. So it could, or it could be dead in 2 months.
Yeah.
One is a little spin on it. What happens if it becomes a massive success on PlayStation and then somehow Bungie reclaim the rights and they do their version of Halo instead of 343 and it becomes a massive success as a Sony exclusive?
Do you know what? That's a brilliant question. I think I genuinely think at that point Microsoft will move away from hardware. And I feel like they kind of are anyway with the next Xbox. Yeah. But I feel like they will move away from hardware and essentially do what Konami's doing and maybe start licensing out their IP.
Yeah. Same with what Sega did. Yeah. Same with what Sega did. Yeah.
And
so
I think that's probably the best thing for them because
with the fact they were doing like everything's an Xbox campaign, which ran for a year, and now they've shut that down. It's gone. You know.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to play, Gears of War on my toaster. If anyone didn't realize, I was being sarcastic. Okay. They've got an identity crisis going on right now, and it feels like they're trying to double down on. No, we're going back to what made us mediocre. They haven't been doing well since Xbox 360 was the peak era of Xbox.
Yeah.
And they've not been doing well since. They've always been third in line because Nintendo have been ahead of them and then PlayStation have been ahead of them. So they've always been the downside.
Sorry to put you off. I can honestly see Nintendo being the top dog in the next 5 years. Easily. If Microsoft keep going the way they're going, they're going to fall off. And I feel like a lot of Sony's pull was with a lot of their exclusives, and I don't know if with streaming becoming it's a big thing, but it's only going to get bigger. I feel like most people are naturally gravitating towards just why not get it on Steam, if it's there already. So I feel like PlayStation could fall, whereas Nintendo games are normally built to be played on a handheld thing.
Yeah, you don't ever see their games anywhere else.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the natural pull of Nintendo. Is it's a it's a focused thing, and you can play Nintendo while you're watching TV or whatever.
Yeah.
It's rare that I would sit down and play The Last of Us whilst watching YouTube at the same time, or unless I was watching the Last of Us TV show as well. But you know what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't be mad at that because I've been PlayStation all the way through. The only other consoles I've had is I had a Game Boy, I had Nintendo, not Switch, Nintendo DS, and PCs throughout me life. They're the only other things that I've had. So I genuinely think Nintendo, with the games that they're bringing out at the minute, could be top dog in a few years.
I think they're now the longest running console in that respect, of keeping consoles coming out.
Yeah.
So their longevity is going to be around for a long time. I don't know what they're going to do after the Switch 2. I have no idea.
No. Switch 3.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's bigger.
Yeah. But do you know what? That point actually made me think of a question. And that I would like your opinion on.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So you mentioned that Xbox keep basically regurgitating the same game, right?
Yeah.
But so does Nintendo. But Nintendo are doing it well.
Yeah, they are.
So why do you think that is? Like, where is Microsoft going wrong?
Because whereas Nintendo may keep bringing out the same IPs, but it's a different thing, or they change it. Because you look at the Mario games, how the Mario games have evolved from side-scrolling platformers to 3D to then being able to do both.
Yeah. And
just making them phenomenal games because all the stuff that they put in them, who thought you could turn into an elephant and go rampaging across the screen, or the whole thing with Super Mario Odyssey where you could change into different characters because of the hat, they may be regurgitating, but they're always progressing.
Innovating.
Innovating. Yeah. Gears of War Remastered coming out for the third time is not innovation.
No.
That's a valid point.
We've been waiting for State of Decay 3 for like nearly 4 years now.
Yeah.
State of Decay 2 was just State of Decay 1, but with a bit of better polish. This is my problem with, the Forza Horizon games, or Forza Motorsport games, fantastic. It's technically the same thing.
Yeah.
It's really.
Yeah. It's like the FIFA EA argument.
Yeah.
It's,
that's the worst setup. Right, we're going to go down that route. That's the worst scenario because EAFC now, because someone else has bought the rights for FIFA, is the same regurgitated crap, and it's just geared to monetization. But people buy it in droves because they love that stuff.
Yeah.
The same could be said about COD. Okay.
Yeah.
But then what I will say is some of the COD games are excellent and some are awful, and they do very massively. Okay. But when it comes down to just monetization and money, I think it's just lazy. If you're not going to put a lot of thought into a game and just going to regurgitate it doesn't deserve to do well.
No.
No.
I agree.
So, there you go.
Right. So, Mag, what was your hot take?
Okay. I don't give two shits about GTA 6.
Oh.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it gets delayed yet again. And if it does, so many people are going to be like, yeah, well, we saw that coming.
Yeah.
I think GTA is also massively hyped. I like the first one, the very original, the top-down one. Enjoyed that immensely. Yeah. I thought the second one was quite poor. If anyone's played the second one, it's the one that most people don't talk about. It's the one where it's set in the future and the cars drive like at the speed of tanks. It's terrible.
I never played the second one.
No, never heard of it.
The third one is where it went into third-person mode. And I do think those games were great. Grand Theft Auto 4, those as well were pretty good. I just never got on with GTA 5.
Yeah.
Now, I know loads of people love GTA 5, and it's spawned across lots of generations of consoles.
Yeah, it's wild.
The way it's going. And it's a very much beloved game. I couldn't get into the multiplayer stuff. I know some people love the whole RP.
No, I was the same with that. That I couldn't stand it.
And again, great. If they're enjoying it, they're getting fun out of it. Good for them. That's great. I've got no qualms with that. I just could not get into GTA 5, and I thought it was very much overhyped. And I'll be honest, I don't know what GTA 6 can bring. And I do get the feeling that this could all be the most hyped game ever in the history of gaming. And I think it's going to let people down. But what I will say is, I will give it a fair shout. I will try it and I will play it and I will give an opinion. I've played GTA 5 multiple times. I just can't get into it.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be one of these people saying it's going to be shit and then we'll never play it. I will dedicate a stream to it and give it a whirl.
Yeah.
And if it completely changes my mind, fair play, Rockstar. You've spun my opinion round. Good on you for that.
Yeah.
But if it's exactly what I think it's going to be, saw that coming.
See, I'm like you with my hot take. I'm on the fence with this one because my heart wants to believe that it's going to be the greatest game ever.
Yeah.
For the hype of it, it should be the greatest game ever. But also, a lot of the trailer was focused on the bubbles in the bottle, the reflection in the sunglasses, and like, I just hope the gameplay holds up to that.
Yeah, because you've yet to see any real gameplay in any trailer.
Yeah. Apart from like there was the leaks that no one really knows if they were real or not. You know.
So again, I take them with a pinch of salt because some leaks do end up being true and some leaks are completely false. They know how to make bloody good trailers. I will say that.
They do.
But doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get a good game.
No, it doesn't. And so I think I don't necessarily agree. Like, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I will definitely play it. I definitely think it will be a phenomenal game. My thing is, I don't necessarily think it will be my favorite game of this year if it does come out this year.
Yeah.
Which might shock a lot of people, but like you, I enjoyed the GTA games. The first GTA I played was San Andreas when I was far too young to be allowed to play it. But but like you, I will complete it and I'll be like, do you know what? That was fucking good.
Yeah.
But I preferred this game more. Or I preferred that game more.
Yeah, I get that.
It's I know you mentioned Mafia, right? And I played Mafia the Old Country.
Yeah.
And like objectively speaking, I would say that's a good game.
Right? It's a good game, yeah.
Yeah, but it was one of my favorite games I've played. I'm not sure if it was this year or last year. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was last year. It was one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
But like people will ask me like, oh, so would you say that it was a 10 out of 10? I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be the opposite.
Yeah.
With me with GTA.
No, I think this is the thing because you can play a game, as we said earlier, and you will enjoy it, but it's not necessarily the best game. And I often do get through a lot of games where I'm like, that was cool. Really, I enjoyed that. Never play it again.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad game, you know.
Yeah.
I think Mafia, I enjoyed Mafia, but it was that same thing of once you've played it, you probably won't play it again because there's nothing new. And they were supposed to be bringing a load of updates, and I think they've added some updates, but it's nothing that makes me want to go back and play it.
Yeah.
And I actually thought it was a massive step back compared to. I think they played it safe. I'm
going to say 100%
because of the criticism of Mafia 3 and it going a bit more open world. They played it safe, and it's like a very linear game. It's a very good linear game. It's not great.
No, it's not.
You know, it's one of those things. So, yeah, I get that. But, you know, if anyone asks me, should you play Mafia, the Old Country? I go, yeah, give it a shot. You might like it, you might not. Yeah. It's not, you won't waste your money playing it.
No, you won't.
Yeah. Okay. So, shall we move on to quick fire questions?
Go for it.
And We know you like to talk, Mag. It's in your nature.
Yes, I'll keep it simple. Do you want one-word answers to make it easy?
No.
No.
I was just about to say, if there is a bit of a story around it, feel free to go into it. It says quick fire, but you know.
You got another 5 hours.
Yes. Yeah.
This one I know is not going to be a short answer. You might have already touched on it, but your favorite content memory.
Ooh. There's quite a few, but I'll try and just pick one. I think, do you know what? It's kind of a generalization, actually. So every year we do the thing where I stay up really late at night to co-stream the Game Awards. Now, regardless of what you think of the Game Awards, whether you love it or hate it, I am only there to watch it for the trailers, to see what games. Right. But it's quite a nice, unique thing that I'll do a normal stream, then we'll go into that. I get a bottle of wine and a glass, right?
Yeah.
I get some snacks and I sit back with my community and we sit there and just watch it and just have a general chat for like 5 hours. I think I was on until 6 o'clock in the morning last year doing it.
Nice.
Bloody hell.
And just have so much fun because it's very easy to just sit there and talk about games. Go, oh, this looks good. Oh, I'm not sure about that. Oh, what's this? Do we know what that is? And it's just it's very easy for me to deliver on that. Okay. But it's a lot of fun because I could say then, like, oh, do you remember when we saw this 2 years ago and now I'm playing this? Or do you remember that game that was announced that they got cancelled and blah, blah, blah? And there's a lot of things that stick out in your head and you go, or do you remember that time that Nicolas Cage walked out and he announced he was going to be on Dead by Daylight and everyone was like losing their shit over it? It's like,
I remember that.
You know, it's moments that stick in your mind. I like the fact that I can share that with my community and people that come in to watch it. And it's not like, again, it's that thing of if people want to go, oh, I'm not looking forward to this, I think this is going to be shit, they can say that and it's fine. Or I'll be like, I'm really intrigued about this, or oh, I'm not sure about that one, or oh, I don't give two fucks about this. And everyone's fine about it, and everyone's got an opinion, and everyone can have it, and it's great. And I do. It's funny. I look forward to those weird Thursday nights into Friday mornings where I'm going to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, shattered, but had a really good night talking to a load of people, just talking about
So, I love that.
That's lovely. Okay. Best console.
For me personally, Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Oof.
Got a lot of good memories because I was more of a Nintendo person than a Sega person. But my friends had the Sega console, so I did enjoy playing the Mega Drive and that. And then Xbox 360, I'd say more recent era, but it's not a recent era. But Xbox 360 probably delivered on a lot. And even with the Kinect with that, great. What they tried to do with the Xbox One and the Kinect, no, you moron. I'm glad you backtracked on that. But no, very fond memories of going, gaming consoles are back. This is a good era. And a PS2. PS2, Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Great era of gaming.
Yeah. Absolutely,
yeah. I don't think they've ever been able to recreate that since.
No.
I agree with you.
No. I think Astrobot was the closest we've gotten in recent times for me personally.
I'd agree. That reminds me of like the whole, the Crash, Spyro, Banjo, Kazooie that kind of era.
I can't think of a game that I could feel all the love put into so much. And just all the free DLC. They did loads of free DLC. Originally they were like, oh, we're going to add an extra 100 levels. And then really, realistically, they added about 28, I think it was. And then and when you finish the last one, which is bloody hard to finish by
the way. My God, don't.
But you do it and you get the message saying, thank you for playing. So you knew that was it. There was no more,
Yeah.
nowhere else coming.
Yeah.
I loved every minute of that.
Yeah.
That it's going to be tough to beat a game like that.
Yeah. Speaking about being tough to beat a game like that, if you could make your own game, what would it be?
How to drive properly on a motorway simulator.
Yes. Yes. I like it.
Sick to death of people who hog the middle lane when there's nothing in the slow lane. So so then people undertake them, which you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Oh, you get a truck that is trying to overtake them, so that blocks the fast lane. You got people who drive on roads that are clearly like 60 and drive then 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But then when they do say, oh, you need to, let's say, right, okay, 60 miles on the road and they're driving 40, pisses me off. Drive the fucking speed limit, right?
Yeah.
And then when it says, oh, it's dropping down to 30, they continue going at fucking 40, so they're breaking the speed limit. So I think you have a game where you have to deal with all that shit, but also try and be the best driver that you could possibly be without having road rage. Like I'm not even in a car and I was road raging right there. So, dear God, that'd be the game. That'd be endorsed by me.
Love it.
Gosh.
Okay. I think you touched on this a little bit before, but you had to pick top 3 games of all time.
Oh, Christ.
You knew there was a difficult question coming.
Do you know what? I'll go for, to make it fair, I'll go for an old, middle, like medium era, and then new era. Because that's the only way I think I could do this. Otherwise, we will be here for another 5 hours. So, old era, RoboCop.
Ooh, okay.
Nice, yeah.
RoboCop on pretty much every platform was slightly different, but they were all excellent games, whether you played it on the NES, the Spectrum, the Amstrad, the Amiga, the arcade version, all solid. Again, worked by Ocean Software on all forms, and it was solid. Unfortunately, when they did like RoboCop 2, 3, all the games were completely different, and some of them were bloody awful. But you could say that was no matter what platform you got it on, it was quality.
Yeah.
Medium era. Oh God. I will say Far Cry 3 over.
Okay. Nice.
I just like the story that they told with that. And I just really enjoyed every minute of it. And I did like what they did when they did the whole Blood Dragon DLC.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I thought that was cool that they tied that in. It was a completely different thing, and it had nostalgia vibes of Terminator and other 80s action flicks. More recent, oh God. Now this is a toss-up because I could put Astro Bot in there.
Easily.
Do you know what? I'm not. I'm gonna because we talked about Astro Bot fondly. Alan Wake 2.
Ooh. Shout.
Okay.
So I have been a massive Remedy fan for many years. Loved all their games, even people that didn't like Quantum Break. I love Quantum Break. I could see what they were trying to do with it. And Quantum Break built the foundations for what was the best game of 2019, Control.
Yeah.
And then Alan Wake 2. And now they've built the Control universe and Alan Wake universe altogether. And even Quantum Break featured Alan Wake in a way. I know that's very like sort of pushing the boundaries a bit, but that what they've done very, very well. I am a little bit worried. I'm going to say this because when they announced FBC Firebreak, I was very hyped for that. And that was another very mediocre game, which I know they're still going to add stuff to. Massively disappointed with that. So that worried me. And I am very hyped for the new Control.
Yeah, looks sick.
I'm also slightly worried.
Okay.
Because I am not a fan of Souls-like games. And because they've gone shooting to that style of combat. Now, it could be Devil May Cry-esque. We really don't know yet. If it's Devil May Cry-esque hack and slash, I can get down with that because I like those games. But Soul-esque games is very few and far between games that I actually really like. Liza P being one that was fantastic. But if it's going to be all this block parry, blah, 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 I might struggle with it. It might not. It might prove me wrong. But it does look bloody great.
It does look good.
The way they dropped the tease for that in the Alan Wake 2 DLC, when you flick the light switch, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have just ruined what the second DLC for Alan Wake 2. Go play it. Go get into a little room. If you see a light switch, which is referencing Control, flick it. You won't be disappointed. I was like, holy shit, they're doing a second Control. And then literally 12 months later, they dropped that trailer at the Game Awards last year. And I was like, this is going to be phenomenal. I got high hopes for that.
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2 took what Alan Wake is again, a decent game, but nothing that amazing.
Yeah.
But they took the concept, what they learnt with Control and their other games, turning it into more of an experience, as well as a very good game with great storytelling. And the fact that it's got a hook that when you complete it, you can go back and play it and things are different. And I like that. I thought that was a game that was very, very well done, and it still sticks out in my mind. And the fact that you can add a song and dance number into a game and it fits. If you did that in any other game, you'd be like, what the fuck is this shit? And the way they delivered on that, because it becomes a part of a level. You've got all these bits that you play through, and the song plays out while you're battling through this TV studio. And then it cultivates into this song and dance number. And then you literally, you think the level's ended, but you end up in a game studio, and you got Artie the janitor, who's a character from Control, and that mopping the floor, humming the tune of the thing that you've just seen over the last 20 minutes. And as you walk past him and he's humming, it goes bang, end of level. It was like, fucking hell, that's so clever, because you've got big, magnificent like production, all this, and then you're just walking out of an empty sky, mopping the floor, going, and then it's like boom, straight into the next thing. I was like, that is so well thought out.
Yeah,
so well thought out. I love that game.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Nice.
There you go.
Okay, and very last thing from us.
Okay.
Are there any questions that you have for us?
If there's one guest you'd always want to get on the podcast, who would it be?
Oh, Poetic, do you want to do yours first?
Gosh. Oh, I don't know. If I only had to pick one, Shigeru Miyamoto.
Oh, nice.
Trying to think of mine. Well, one, because it hasn't had a mention yet, but the main actor. If you don't know, MAGG.
For fuck's sake!
Go for what? Sorry, I got the main actor from.
The main actor. My favorite game ever is Kingdom Come Deliverance, and it's a running theme through this that I keep
every fucking podcast episode. Every fucking.
I'm going to say this: Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was a fantastic game last year. I don't think it got enough love.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, but he has to get it in that he wants to meet the guys. I nearly met them, but weird story. There was another gaming event that they were actually doing meet and greets at, and the area that we were in, they had to walk and cut through. And then them and all the other guests they had from Expedition 33 and that were doing all the signings.
Oh, wow.
Came through and just went, all right. And we just went, all right. And that was it. And that was my whole thing with what was it, Luke and
Tom.
Tom.
Yeah.
So we saw, and we did see him on stage talking, but we were quite far away.
Yeah.
So we had an interaction. We just waved at them. That was it. Yeah. I mean, like really lovely guys.
Yeah, either Luke or Tom will be big for me, because also Tom's done that docudrama about the waste management and things like that. So I think he's got his morals in the right place. He wants to spread messages with his work, which is I find really, really cool as well. But I think it's thinking a lot bigger. It'd be like one of the lead designers for Rockstar, or you know, something like a pinch yourself I mean, we've all like having you on is a bit of a pinch myself guess because like we've well honestly
yeah,
yeah
100%.
because like when you purely for us like we do this as a hobby with the scope of maybe one day doing it as a career, which would be amazing. If it never gets to that, fine. I've had a great time doing what I've done. But having you on, and we've had Haley Harley. I always get it wrong.
Haley.
We had Haley, game developer, who she worked on Mindtime. We've had James Beaumont, who was a voice actor. And I think having all these people come on that like work professionally in what we want to do, it's a big inspiration for us. So thank you for agreeing to come on as well.
That's all right. After you mentioned those fabulous names, I'm like, Jesus Christ, why did you have me on?
No, of course not. Of course not.
But no, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm honoured to be on. I appreciate that people ask me and want me to be on their show. So, as I say, I don't particularly think I'm anything. I do what I do and I enjoy it, and that's it.
I think that's why people want you on podcasts and things, because you don't think you're this big I am, which shows when you come on. And I mean this in the nicest way possible. You're just one of the people. You don't put yourself on a pedestal. But with that, shall we sign off, Poetic?
Yes. Mag, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been absolutely brilliant. And to everyone watching or listening, thank you so much for spending the best part of well over 2 hours.
Sorry.
Right. Sorry. Before we end, I always forget to do this.
Oh yeah.
Mag.
Hello.
This is your time now. Sorry, to kind of promote yourself and tell people where they can find you and shout out things you work on.
If I haven't put you off by listening for the 2.5 hours of me waffling on, come see me on Twitch. I am Middle-Aged Gamer Guy UK on Twitch. I'm on mainly Mondays to Thursdays. Monday and Thursdays, new games. Tuesdays the talk show, and Wednesday we play community games that you can come and join in.
Good.
I also run the Manchester Twitch meets. As I said, if you go to meetups.twitch.tv, we've got an event on Good Friday next month. We will also be announcing a July date, which will be at Arcade Club in Bury. The tickets are all free, but it's first come, first served. We will also be doing a Christmas event. We run 2 or 3 events a year. And then obviously, Timeless Gaming Convention early bird tickets are now on sale for the 12th of August, which is a Wednesday. You might think that's a weird day, but it's smack bang in the summer holiday, so it works for us. At Kane's Brewery in Liverpool at 10 a.m. till midnight. If you get the VIP tickets, which will be going on sale next month, you can also come to the VIP night, also get you in earlier. And, we do some other bits and pieces. You get a nice little goodie bag with about 50 to 90 quid's worth of free stuff in as well. So go to timelessgaming.co.uk to check out for updates and information, and come to a gaming convention that actually cares about gamers and not just about taking your money.
I like that. What we'll do is we'll put all, the link. If you could send me over a little thing of all the links, and we'll put it all in the description and everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you know what? With that, gamers, listeners, happy
gaming.